So, are you ready to PR yourself? We'll remove the mystery from all things PR and we'll discuss everything from our top strategies to tips and tricks and everything that you can utilize to further enhance your brand or your message. I've been in media, I'm a journalist, and I'm also a publicist. I am Leah Frazier, CEO of Think3 Media, and your host for PR Yourself with Leah Frazier. Let's go. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to PR Yourself with Leah Frazier. You guys, listen, you guys are blowing my mind. We just received notification that this podcast is in the top 30, number 29 actually, in the US for marketing podcasts and in the top 100 in Canada for marketing podcasts. So thank you to each and every one of you faithful listeners. Thank you guys for sharing this out. Thank you for interacting with me. Thanks for sharing it on social media. We're just extremely grateful that this project has reached the levels that it has in such a short period of time. So thank you again. And I want you guys to just get interactive. Go on pryourselfwithleahfrazier.com. Leave me a message and let me know if you have an episode suggestion or there's something going on with your business that you want me to bring in the experts to help and tell you how to PR it better. Again, get involved. You're going to go to the link in my bio at the Leah Frazier on Instagram, and I have a whole list of things you can do. You can join our private Facebook group. In that group, I go live. I tell you what's hot and trending in social media and marketing and PR. I put media leads in there. There's one I've got to do today. And you're also going to want to interact with the other women. And I think we have some men in that community now, in that private Facebook community, okay? Because I'm going to start growing that so that you guys can discuss among yourselves how to PR yourselves better as we move through 2021 and beyond. Also, if you're interested, we still have the monthly membership available. It's only $49 a month, and you can find information on that at think3media.com/think3edu. That is our monthly membership where I literally do a class session like I would teach with my students at the university. I do a class session on what's hot in marketing and public relations. I give you your takeaways. I give you something to work on for 30 days. And then several weeks later, we come back and we mastermind as a group to make sure that we're working on that one thing that you need to get worked on for that month. And we continue that monthly. And it's a great resource and it's a great way, an affordable way for you to hear from me. I bring in experts and also for you to have accountability. That way you're working through for solutions for your small business or as an entrepreneur. And lastly, you're going to want to stay tuned. Yes, pryourselfbook.com. You're going to want to sign up for that as we get closer to the book being released. But also you're going to want to go to PR Yourself with leahfrazier.com online. There's a tab called course, and you're going to want to sign up there because I am re-releasing my live course one last time. I know I said that before. I'm going to do it again. I have just revised it. I've created a couple more modules, and it's really going to go into a little bit more of an organized depth on how you can earn free media and press coverage consistently for your small business and your brand. And again, it's super duper affordable, and I want to offer that to you guys. So thank you guys so much for tuning in and enjoy this latest episode, and I look forward to hearing from you all. All right, and welcome back to another episode of PR Yourself with Leah Frazier. It is your PR Petty of the Week. You've waited for it. I am delivering, okay? And you guys should honestly be sick of the PR Petty of the Week because we just delivered to you Gorilla Glue Madness. Gorilla Glue who? And so just because I can't get enough of just being petty and seeing stuff out on the streets. I mean, there's so much going on in reality TV right now that I can't even, we got to go beyond this episode and come back and do PR Petty next week, maybe 2 or 3 times next week. But for this week, we are bringing you the drama from the inside of the PR world. And no one else better to discuss this with me than the person that I spend texting this information to, complaining, Chandra Gore from the DMV area of Chandra Consulting, who is an amazing publicist, by the way. And is just like my shoulder to vent to in all things, just pettiness. I can't even. I can't. Welcome back.
Thank you so much for having me.
I
I'm
mean,
sorry.
I just I and we're gonna have to do more because we've got. Let me tell you what we've got. We've got Chris Williams from Married at First Sight, who desperately needs a PR makeover that I want to discuss with publicists. Is his reputation even reboundable at this point after what he did in this latest season?
You
We're
need a new
not.
name and new identity. Go on. Just
A new family, his church has exiled him. I don't know that for a fact. If
disappear and
I
come
if I
back.
were the pastor, I would, and his daddy.
Mm.
We have him and who else? And reality TV land. I think I also wanted to talk a little bit about Kenya Moore and Bolo Gate from Real Housewives of Atlanta.
I'm just looking at this like this. Like I can't, because if you make somebody quit the show because you trying to be messy, that's a problem. But
And then my favorite of all, Miss OG from Basketball Wives. And don't tell me your position because we may actually be on different sides. But we have to talk about these things because these are people with real brands and businesses and PRable things where it's like, listen, like, we're not trying to be petty, but like, you may need us after you get out of reality TV land because now you've messed up your entire life once that check stops. Just saying.
just slide my card across the table.
Yeah, we're just digitally saying we're here for you. For some of you, some that are actually salvageable.
What did Dave Chappelle do?
We're here for you.
Yes,
Unity.
yes, because come over. Let's help you out real quick. Because some of y'all ain't never gonna get a job.
Oh my gosh. Well, today we have a short PR Petty of the Week episode, and this literally came today where I was like, I need you to hop on today. Actually, it's been festering for a while, but I decided we're going to do this today. And we're talking about PR scams and scammers, things that the general public doesn't recognize as a scam, but yet you forward it. If you have a publicist, you forward us these scams and want us to do the exact same work as these scammers, and or you question our value
Hello.
because of something that the scammer put out. And so I'm just irritated. So I'm going to lay out one that I've identified. Chandra, you then set the stage for part 2 that was identified earlier this week, and then we will discuss the do's and don'ts. So if you're on social media, like a lot of you business owners are, you're going to get pushed a lot of Instagram ads, a lot of Facebook ads. And especially if you're looking for a particular thing, of course, Facebook, the big monster, will know exactly what you're looking for, what you're searching for the most. They'll curate your algorithm. And so let's just say you keep searching for media coverage or how to be on TV or whatever that situation is. They're going to start pushing you people who have keyworded their ads to fit what you're searching for. And so there are particular individuals out there in media and PR land who are not publicists, who are marketing that they are able to get you on certain really big news networks in your mind, but we know differently. News networks, a total of 3 exclusive interviews for $97.
Child.
Okay, $97. And so what ends up happening is I'll get an email that says, hey, so should we do this? Kind of disrespecting the fact that maybe I've already gotten the particular client several TV segments that are relevant to their audience. But sometimes people just see all the smoke and mirrors online, and you see the $97 and you're thinking, well, I'm paying Leah this, so maybe we should go for the 97. And it's a mess, and we're going to tell you why in just a little bit. Chandra, what's the other one that most people will most likely see online?
I got it. I have 3 slots available for big name placements. DM me for more information or drop your email below so we can chat.
let's not be nice here. They'll say, "Oh, I could get you on Entrepreneur, Success Magazine, Forbes Magazine." Like the big ones where we're talking about like ground shaking. Like if you want to get with some of these folks, it takes months and months of priming them, figuring out what they're covering. Sometimes I know sometimes with Forbes I've gotten pushback because they want to make sure if they're featuring someone in a certain category, they want to make sure your business revenue is $1 million or more, or that you've made $500,000 within a certain amount of time. And so it's a very stacked criteria for someone to receive an online ad and say you could get that for, say, I don't know, how much are we talking here?
Jesus. All I'm saying, I'm sorry. All I'm gonna say is this. Listen, y'all. Go to the editorial calendar of this and look at how much the ad will be. Right? I know I'm not. I'm pissed off because $1,300 and $2,100 and $5,500 are the ranges that I got for prices for this. Okay. All right, y'all. Okay, are y'all listening? Put your ear to the speaker real quick. Just come close. Come close. Listen, this is not how this works, okay? Leah, okay. I'm still trying to grasp around the conversation and explain to people, like, I get it that you want these, but there's a process to this whole getting a big placement into to Business Insider and stuff like that. There's a process. There's no guarantee that you could do this in the time frame after you write a check. Okay? That's not possible.
Unless in our land, so publicists sometimes use news wires where if we need to communicate something, so like I drafted a press release for a client today, we know it needs to go on a national news wire because she's raised a substantial amount of money and we need to get it out quickly and we need to get it into the hands of folks who could then potentially write further stories in the future. Those are costly, but that's different. And we're being honest. Like me, I'm honest with my clients, and it's in my proposal that here is my fee. However, if something comes up, and as the expert, I recommend to you that we need to use a news wire because it'll mass send that out. That is extra. You pay for that, but just know that using a news wire does not mean that these people they're putting it in front of are going to pick up the phone and want to interview you. Some may just republish the press release, which, okay, we're happy for the published link, but it's not an exclusive interview because they didn't pick up the phone and talk to you and get any additional information outside of the release. Okay. And sometimes with news wires, you can send it out and yes, it'll hit Yahoo and it'll hit Business Insider. But if you look at the top left, it is literally written like a press release. It says for immediate release, Dallas, Texas,
but it's
February 26th.
That, this information was submitted by such and such. We hold no, they didn't vet the information, y'all. This is not, okay. So this is where I'm going to say this. If someone comes to you and says, I can guarantee you placement here if you pay me X amount of dollars, you cannot, that's not how this is. If you're going to place an ad, go to the ad department and then buy the page, a half page, quarter page, whatever. That's guaranteed placement right there because you're cutting a check for an ad. You cannot payola your way into a large magazine or a large publication or like that. It may seem like it's simple, but it's not. And then when you get the fine print, like I'm going back and I'm replaying, I feel like an idiot because I listened and I was pulling out different things. Like if they offer these promises and the time frame is 60 to 120 days, that should be a red flag. When your publicist can take your same story for that 60 to 120 days and actually get you more placements to legitimize your business than you paying that money and waiting and not getting something in the end. You have to look at what a publicist actually does to build the legitimacy and your story within the media so that they come knocking to you. So they come knocking wanting to talk to you. It's just this quick poof. I dream of Genie press is not, it's illogical. But it puts you prone to being scammed. Like, there's so many between the $97 one, because you can't edit those once those go out. So if you have a typo, that's what it is. And so these other ones that promised you to get you in these things, it's a bait for you to give them a cash flow for 120 days. It's a credit line. I'm sorry. See, it's a pyramid.
Well, I think there's a lot of important things, and if anybody is wanting to know the value of paying for sponsored media placements, go back to season 1 or maybe season 2. I did an episode with Jennifer Schercher of Plano Magazine where we talk about the value of sponsored media posts because of the way that you get to work with a media outlet to tell your story, work with them on social media. So you actually get an ROI for paying, $2,000-$3,000 for an ad in a magazine, and why that would work. But in these situations, people are paying, let's say, the $97, you get featured. They're telling you, hey, you get Fox, NBC, and CBS. And so you're thinking the big guys, because again, you're not in PR land, so you don't realize there's local affiliates, there's the national level, and there's all these different levels, and then there's affiliate, like sub-affiliates, right? And so when your article comes out, you're on the Fox website of Timbuktu, where no one in your target audience lives.
Nobody.
With a publicist, we take your story, match that with your target audience, and we place you where it either legitimizes your authority, but it does it in front of or you have a product or service you have, and it puts it right smack dab in front of the people who need it, not in the middle of a country town in Texas where nobody's checking for you.
It don't even be a country. It don't even be anywhere near you or whatever. And this is the thing. I had a client actually, and I hate to say that, I'm gonna admit this. My client actually had the nerve to go and do a press release on one of these off-brand sites. And I said, why would you do that? And when I looked at it, it was like no one it was 2 sentences. You said you paid $149 for this. 2 sentences and a picture.
Well, at least you got the picture, because some of those news wires, it's extra. It's 400 words and extra for a picture.
Okay. But if you saw the actual, like, these things are quick. It makes no sense, and it does your business a disservice. So I had to go and backtrack and rewrite everything that was submitted for that to make it to legitimize, because it had typos. It didn't make sense. It was just a mess.
So what we're trying to ask you guys to do is, one, have a little bit of patience. You're going to see I can get you in these outlets for this amount of money, exclusive interviews. I'll be honest with you, they're not exclusive interviews. They're very cookie cutter. You answer one set of questions, and they take those same answers and they republish them to the other 2 websites that you paid for. That is not an exclusive interview if the same interview is republished in other mechanisms. Now, let me tell you what else it does that they don't tell you. Just me knowing SEO, Google searches for plagiarism. Yep. And so they search for when the same exact wording or same exact sites are listed elsewhere. So I wouldn't even, that scares me enough. I don't want to be on a site where Google may categorize that as a low quality site, or I'm not even saying, Fox and those guys are really big. However, like I said, if they're searching for where it's the same article that's on such and such's website and they may not grade it as higher, I don't want to be associated with that. And that's period. But so it's not an exclusive interview.
The thing is that people think that oh, I'm on all of these links, and it makes, no, it's not this, it doesn't make sense. And then I feel so bad because even after people pay these guys, like, oh, I paid this person $4,000, they said they were going to get me in, so I can't pay you, but I still need you to get me into publications up until that goes live. And I'm like, this is not how that works, y'all. This is not how, that works. And then comes the caveat, oh, you can get your money back if you're not placed. But, the whole, you got to be denied, or, all of this other stuff before you can get your money back. Like, come on. I want you all to understand that putting together a campaign or building your brand in the public eye takes time. It takes building. You have to have the building blocks. I take it back. It's a train track that your train has to go along, if that makes sense. Okay. So you can't get to the end of your destination without the tracks being built correctly. I hope this analogy, this helps everybody understand. On your train track and different milestones that you have to hit, a publicist is actually building the tracks so that your train can run smoothly through the media and to your targeted audience. You can't come in and someone else come in and say, hey, I can speed your train all the way down the track, for this X amount of money, and you're going to miss out on so many different train tracks trying to skip to the end. So then your train will stop exactly where you bought that $97, or you invested, as they say, that $5,500. So your train will be stuck here because you can't move forward because you weren't patient enough to say, hey, let me get the right amount of press to build my train track so that these large name publications, who the earned media part. Okay, there's a difference. There was a new thing that came out a couple months ago where they're distinguishing between paid and earned media. So it's obvious who has the paid media, and it's obvious who has earned media. Earned media gets you verification. Paid media does not. You won't get a wiki page. You won't get the things that are necessary for your business to have integrity or to be respected if you're paying for all of your placements. So therefore, you're paying someone to legitimize you, which tarnishes your brand. And if that's like sponsorships, that's different. Paying for the placement, that's not an ad. That's not the way to go, because you're paying someone to say, trust me. Okay, of course they're gonna trust you handing them money. Like, okay, sure, I'll take that. Like, you have to understand what you want to be known for. And as a publicist, Leah, we could look at placements and know what's paid and what's not so quick.
And sometimes it's obvious because at the top, especially in the magazine, it'll say advertorial, or on a web article, it'll just say sponsored. So when your friends are sharing these articles and some of you guys are having imposter syndrome, or you're saying, oh my God, look at her, she's doing this. And then you call your publicist and say, why didn't you get me in that? And I'm like, well, did you see at the top, it says sponsored? That means she paid for it.
Or the Instagram post.
Yeah. That doesn't mean that they called her up and were interested. That means she called them and paid them and they ran that. Which, like, again, listen to the episode with Jen with Plain Old Magazine. Not a bad thing if you're looking for some sort of marketing ROI. But for earned media, don't get fooled by your friends who are on Fox and Buku nowhere. And you're saying, oh, won't he do it? God is so good. No, their checkbook is really good. Like, that's what that is.
And I tell, and even on local media where it will tell you, like, they have the little sponsored segment, y'all, where, oh, my friend got on the news. No, she paid to get on that. Did you get the rate sheet? It's $500. You can easily get it. Do you want one? Because it's not going to come out my budget. But if you want to throw me the money, I can go ahead and secure it. Like, there are ways that you can do it that way, but they will tell on you. And the normal consumer will not see that it's not a sponsored segment. And most times it's pre-recorded and it's just thrown in the middle of of the news segment that don't even make sense, because I've seen some like, why do you have this here? Like, put it somewhere, integrate it somewhere in the news day to make it make sense. But hey, that's where they paid for. So this is the thing: listen to your publicist. Don't listen to the Facebook ad that you saw and everybody is all on it, excited and stuff, and y'all don't realize that you're reading the same article with the same 3 words spelled wrong in the right. See, go ahead, y'all, get it how y'all live, but I wouldn't suggest doing it. $97 may not be a big deal, but it is for me because it makes what I do harder. Because everybody's saying congratulations and all that other stuff when it's the same article.
Well, y'all, we have to wrap this one up.
Sorry.
We're going to be doing, no. We're going to be doing, I think we'll probably go into this one a little bit more, probably like a part 2, part 3, so that you guys really understand what we're trying to communicate to you. Besides being patient, don't go for the okie doke. If it seems too good to be true, 9 times out of 10, it really is. And if you're looking for a long-term media strategy, sometimes this isn't it. You know, if you need quick hits, sometimes paying a newswire or consulting with a publicist to say, is this the right direction to go, is probably what you need to do. But the stuff falling down your feed, just know that sometimes if it looks too good to be true, it is. And so with that being said, thank you guys for tuning in. I know this was really quick. I'm so sorry, but you know what to do. Subscribe, rate, review, share this out. If you're feeling like, Leah, this triggered me, then this was probably meant for you. And until next time, thanks so much for tuning in to another episode of PR Yourself with Leah Frazier, and we'll see you again really soon.